Good morning to you, baby doll pumpkin. Today we're going to look at this beautiful post I have made for you. The thesis is playing out. It's all coming together in crypto and macro. What do I mean by this? Well, all throughout 2022 and ever since really I started investing in crypto, I've been saying the same thing, okay? I've been saying that bears are smelly and bears poop in the woods. If you think you have honesty and integrity, you'll poop like the bulls. You do it out in the open. I don't want to see any of this shadowy pooping out there. So, in 2022, as they were doing interest rate hikes, as everyone knows, quantitative tightening and all these other biz-baz, jizz-jazz, up, down, left, right words that nobody gives two hoots about, I was calling them liars. I was calling them scum. I said they were full of poop. I said they were smelly. I said they were hairy. I said they climbed trees looking for honey. And no one believed me. Everyone said this time is different. Is it really different? No, it wasn't. This post, look friends, they kept telling us that quantitative tightening was going to be forever. And I told you, they were lying and they were bluffing the whole time. Do you know how hard it was to sit here and look like a big fat poopy face? Okay, I know it's like you think, you get called a big fat poopy face all day. No. Okay, no. This is what everybody was posting, friends. I want you to see this. Okay, let's start from this monthly chart. I just want you to know. Okay, this is what we could actually see, like this. Okay, this is what was posted all over Twitter. And there's always an anonymous, like weird hentai anime avatar guy or girl weirdo who always will post this chart, the monthly chart of Bitcoin. And I want you to have an emphasis on, I'm going to use this very small arrow, have an emphasis on these red candles going down. Okay, so what they would do is they would post this to make everyone upset because they are copers themselves. And they would tweet saying, oh, you didn't make your generational life-changing gains up the top. You should have sold. You're an idiot. I have to stress this. That's all. They kept saying this over and over again, friends. They kept saying these things. They kept saying like, oh, wow, you should have exited. It was so obvious up there. Okay? So, when you're looking at these candles coming down, right? I want you to know there's pain here. If you were here, there is pain. There's a lot of pain. So we got to build a base. You got to understand where we're coming from. I'm an underdog. I power up when there's more people against me and I start winning. You don't need to be triumphant from the very beginning. You just need to stop dying first. Just can you stop dying? How about that? And then can you get on your knees? Maybe graze yourself off. Stand properly. Then start walking, then run. Now you're doing somersaults. Now you're tying your own shoes by yourself. All of these things come together. It was very hard to see this because this is what everybody was showing. So they would never put a log chart, by the way. It's always linear, okay? And they would always show look at this. And then they'll go, oh, wow, you didn't get out. You've round-tripped everything. That's all they would focus on, round-tripping everything. It breaks my heart because, friends, I'm getting a lot of DMs. All right? And I have to check it once every few weeks because they're just so bombarded. A lot of people, it breaks my heart, brings a tear to my eye. A lot of people, okay, they got nothing out here like the rest of us, but that's okay. But what they did was they then concluded that the whole thesis was wrong. So they listened to these scum on Twitter and YouTube being bearish, all these pathetic influencers who made money dumping on everyone, private ICOs, trading, referral link shitting, basically all the subhuman filth. Now that they're putting all this bearish stuff, they're doing it just to get views. And what they don't know is they're deeply affecting my people. And so people, after having portfolios up here, they actually sold this low, go put their money on leverage trading and then lose it all. This has happened more than once. It kills me to hear this. And I've been trying to help people. Hey, you can get back in the game. You have to bounce back fast. You have to get super aggressive. But this is what it looks like, friends. You got to spend. Don't worry about this euphoria part. Because the thesis is so big, you're going to keep growing up. But if you screw this up once and you never learn, you're never going to make it. So focus on these red candles. This is what everybody was posting about. They would always post these memes and these jokes like, oh, well, look at this round trip. Like, we just came right back. Like, this is stupid. No matter how you spin, it's a bad chart. That's all they would say. And I just want to give them a big middle finger. One of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel and why I started, like, being more active on Twitter was precisely because I kept seeing this and I just couldn't take it anymore. I really couldn't take it anymore. I really felt like, hey, you're hurting people out here and you're scum. There's not enough words I could even say to, like, take them down one by one. Because you just know there's going to be a new scammer and a new grifter and someone else who comes in 3, 6, 9 months, some perma bear who gets it correct. Because there's the perma bears here, like, oh, I told you it was going down. Oh, I told you it was going down. Look at this. Oh, there's a bear flag. There's a bear flag. Oh, there's a bear flag here. Oh, look at this reversal bear flag, sir. Oh, what about this bear flag? That's all I was hearing. Bear flag, bear flag, bear flag. And they're just full on copers, friends. Just full on copers. So every single chart, every single time frame just looked bad. That's all they could see. Everything. Everything was, it's a disaster. It's over. Well, it's over. 10K, 10K. So much fear. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, right? So I felt so much glory seeing the Federal Reserve be predicted successfully from my squeaky chair in a dusty room in my part-time from wrestling crocodiles. Right? I felt so much glory here. They literally added to their balance sheet again. There were so many people who said, you know this chart, okay? All these doomers and these gloomers, see this line up here? They were drawing it down like this, right? And by the way, if you do that line going down like that, that is enormous, friends. This is like, you remove 50% of this liquidity part. I'm not joking. If that actually happens, you get a Great Depression. Okay, I'm not even being I'm not like exaggerating here. I'm being completely honest. This is a Great Depression because this is the Federal Reserve, their assets and their balance sheet. And what they're doing is, if they actually let this go down, that basically means they have sold the toxic assets back onto the market and they go, well, you know, your time's up. We're not going to take this from you. And effectively what they're doing is they're burning the money supply up. And what happens is all the banks, you know, basically depositors, everyone loses. Everyone loses. Everyone takes a big hit. And then all the job layoffs and everything happens. And yeah, that's actually how you get Great Depression. You have it fast. All right. So that's what everybody was saying. They were saying this was going to happen. And then even the people who were saying, well, you know, I'm short and midterm bearish, but I'm like long-term bullish, like, because there's just so much copers and so much disbelief. And I was saying, over my dead body, is this arrow going to go all the way down? Because game theory, politics, so many things, right? It's not even just because I'm wearing nice fluffy slippers and there's a crumpled. It goes deeper than that. Our backs are straight. Theirs aren't. You see them every day. They do FOMC meetings, all these quantitative interest rate, blah, blah, blah. All of these words, they sound complex. We could see this coming a mile away. All right. So finally, to get some nice sun rays coming on, shining in our face instead of that wet water pistol that we're always getting squirted with, it's very nice to see. This balance sheet going up, that's basically crypto going up. Okay. It's basically crypto going up. So I got asked today, hey man, like, oh, it doesn't mean that the money's coming in, they're printing, etc. Just chill out, all right? There's a bank out there. There are many banks out there, friends. They have bad assets, and they don't even know it yet. They just think, well, they don't even know it yet. So eventually, it starts crumbling, okay? So they eventually, let's do a poopy here, and a bomb. They have toxic assets. They can't unload it. Basically, the bank starts going to zero. They call up the US Fed and they go, man, this thing's going to go to zero. There's like 300 billion. And then we have like these 30,000 startup companies that employ like 400 million people, whatever it is. Right. And then the Fed's like, crap. So the Fed knows this. They just don't go out and say this. They don't come out and tell you, hey, this guy who's called us in trouble privately on the phone, if we let him go down, unemployment rate goes up to like 7% in like 3 months. They don't tell you that. They never tell you that. But I know this. You know this. Just from the information. You can figure it out. So instead of letting this thing explode, the Fed goes, hey man, let me just make you, and by the way, I'm not exaggerating this. Let me just make you a Microsoft Excel column dedicated to some random word here, right? We'll call it like credit swap line. Just whatever it is, yeah, just credit swap line, yeah. And I'll put a little boat here because it really is their life raft, right? I'll put a boat here. It's a life raft, but remember, it's a poopy life raft because it's a Ponzi system. And if all they do is they go, well, I'm now gonna just send you my infinite money. Just give me your assets, right? So they've done a swap here. That is, see the Fed here. This is Federal Reserve. They made this swap line. That is this chart that I just showed you going up, right here. You see this part? That's what it is. That's why you see bank runs happening. Everything starts going down. And we have this little kink up. So this has been going up over time. That's why, look, Satoshi knew this, friends. Satoshi knew this. See? Satoshi knew this is exactly what would be happening. Look, 2008, he knew like, oh my God, you guys are going to keep printing money and just buying up all this stuff. I go, yes, he was right. This is like Bitcoin in one chart. The thesis of Bitcoin in one chart. Okay? So when you see all these things come together, please just think to yourself, okay, I want to listen to a friend, a kind baby doll friend, a baby doll baby cake, who was talking about this before it hit mainstream. I was talking about it before it, man. I was talking about it before. We're talking about it back here. The whole thesis is playing out. On a linear chart, everything looks disgusting. All right, on a linear chart. You put it on a log chart, okay, you start to get some friendship. And yes, this is just Bitcoin. There's more to come with all the other alts and everything else. We know that part. So don't ever forget this. Don't ever forget this. This all money printing, all these complex words. That's why down here, man, down here, you could see everyone's saying this time is different. Right? This time is different. We are absolutely nothing unique going on here. It's like it's actually sorry. There's everything unique going on here. That's the problem. They keep saying. But when you see a chart like this, you don't have any names here, right? This is their balance sheet. You don't see that they bought, JP Morgan here and Credit Suisse. You don't see these names. Oh, and this tech company, and then they did this. Someone was going to blow up in China, and then they bought all these banks who were going to blow up because of the zombie virus. You don't see those names and those faces because they're irrelevant. All of them are irrelevant. It literally means nothing. All that matters is this number. That's it. You say, good sir, kind sir, baby doll, central bank, US Fed, are you or are you not printing money on your imaginary Microsoft Excel sheet where you just added a column and you made this little row and you just transferred your imaginary money? Are you not doing that? And they won't even answer you because yes, that's exactly what they're doing. That is exactly what they do. They just change the names, change the face, change the date, make everything look a bit different, and suddenly now everyone loses their mind. Why? Because we see the prices going down. You see these red candles, everything gets thrown out the door, So look, in theory, in a classroom, when you have no risk exposure, friends, you know this, right? If you have no skin in the game, if you are sitting there in your socks, maybe you're wearing underwear, who knows? If you're observing this, you can't process what I'm saying when you see this, right? You can't. You can't process what I'm saying at all. At all. This is weeks. You can't process just going straight down. That's it. You're like, whatever. None of it works. I don't care. Because you're just seeing these red, deep red candles. Okay? And I'm here to tell you, right, I understand this game inside out. Interdimensional levels of understanding here. But even I feel it. I feel it, man. We're all people. We're all connected. Our consciousness, I don't know what it is. We're all on the same plane. We all feel it. All of us. I felt it in my stomach down here. This was when Luna collapsed. Cell 3AC down in this box here. I really did. My heart was beating. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys were around, like down here, my heart was beating. I was watching USDT get attacked. Tether was getting attacked. I was on Twitter. Everybody was doom posting. And there was just bad news after bad news after bad news. And there was ominous tweets from Twitter influencers saying like, the worst is yet to come. It's going to get so much worse. All of these. Like, it's one thing to just sit there in a classroom and learn about it. But it's another thing to go, oh, wow. Oh, man, if this is actually different this time, then, yeah, man, it's literally over for all of us, right? So, on the bright side, we have this, man. We have this, the balance sheet. Everything is happening in place. Right? These toxic assets, the money supply never gets burned. They never have to dump them on the market. The Fed just takes it and they can never put it back. And this is going to keep exponentially increasing. So, where do we even go from here, knowing this information? Just know that the thesis, everything is playing out the same. The prophecy was foretold by Lord Satoshi himself We are just continuing on the path. Crypto is going to keep growing. You see Bitcoin going up. You see these charts, all right? You see these charts. They're not accidental, friends, all right? They're not accidental. Go have a look at this Bitcoin. This is absolutely not by chance we were able to do this, all right? People like to say, oh, this is by chance, all right? You know, I don't even like using the super early chart, whatever. It is good enough, all right? We already know, yeah, Bitcoin's slowing down. We can find other stuff. But this is not an accident. Assets don't do this by, like, just from, like, some fairy dust being blown. Something is going on here. Strong hands are accumulating. And never, ever, ever forget, whenever you see these big, fat, red candles, right, there are people buying just because they're strong hands, and that's it. Not because they know the next news event, they know what the price is going to be in 12 months, they know inside information. There are people like that, but on average, when there are deep red candles in an asset class like this, the weak are selling. They're selling because they can't take it anymore. The fear of the unknown is too much. And the people buying, that I'm telling you now, that we're literally buying just because we're strong. That's it. Not because we know something. That's it. We're just strong. I'm telling you now, they're just strong, right? Now, I hope for all of us, we don't see this for a very long time. There's going to be some like hope and disbelief, maybe go back to zero, come back. There might be more hope and disbelief recycles, but to sit through depression, the depression phase of the cycle, I think we're finally clear, and now we can move on to the next step. Tell your mum and your dad that you love them, friends, or catches.